It's C-Doc again.
What's up, party people? It is Tuesday night, and it's time once again for It's C-Doc again. Hope everybody is doing well. I'm your host, C-Doc, the host of the show. I'm also a producer, filmmaker, blah, 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 president of the Spit Slam record label group. A couple more blah, blahs in there. But I can't do this alone. No, friends, I cannot. So I got to bring on my co-hosts. My first co-host got her start in classic rap radio. She also just had her pizza canceled. Our lady from the heyday of K-Day, Jennifer. Oh, Jenny. Did you tell those motherfuckers what to,
They've just decided they're not taking any more orders this evening.
What time is it out there? It's like 6 o'clock.
Yeah, well.
Where'd you order from?
Domino's. They're idiots. What up? Mora.
Oh, you're talking to my wife. Okay. Yeah. Our other co-host this evening is one of the co-hosts of People's Distinctive Travels, a fantastic podcast. Distinctive People's Travels. Ladies and gentlemen, Ultramatic 7.
Yo, I'm just wondering who doesn't want money after 6 p.m. on a Tuesday night.
That's what I'm saying.
That makes no sense.
No,
it's stupid. It's like, we're closing early this evening. Oh,
Jennifer, you live in the hood? What's going on? Why are they shutting down so early?
Imagine that. Yeah, no.
It's one of those days.
Right, Domino's gets the gas face. Exactly.
Right. It must be one of those days because I literally, right before I, came on to get the show started, I spilled my ginger ale all over the goddamn floor. Oh. So there was a mad dash to clean everything up.
Yikes.
Yep. I was like, that's just great. But anyway, it's one of those kinds of days. A great day. I don't know.
Good day.
Rest in peace, rest in beats to the great Harry Belafonte.
Right?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
Lived a long, long life, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
He brought us Beach Street.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
He also inducted Public Enemy into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Along with Spike Lee.
That's serious.
Yep. Exactly.
Oh, speaking of.
Yeah. Maybe he can elaborate since we're talking about this. Well.
Or not.
When the signal gets right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the founder of the Spit Slam record label group and just an all-around swell guy. I'm giving him time to put his headphones on. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Chuck D.
Hey.
Just an all-around swell guy.
Just talking about Mr. B.
Yeah, I saw. I had to turn my big screen down. And I got off the plane going cross country and got the news and wow. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And let me try to fix this part of the screen. I had one of those "that's what I thought" signs that pops up on the screen. Hello, Jenny. Hello, Ultra.
Hello.
Yeah, so I had just gotten off of Brother Roland Martin's Unfiltered show. And he's somebody who was really put his foot forward in creating, black media, and especially after this week, y'all. I mean, really, 24 hours with the Tucker Carlson and Don Lemon and right. CNN got rid of, Chris Cuomo, and you're like, man, regular network news or cable news is just like, who do you trust, man?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And BuzzFeed is gone. The BuzzFeed news thing is gone now.
Wow.
Is all this setting up for
They shut
artificial
it down.
intelligence?
Maybe.
AI newscasters.
I mean, even at the headlines I've seen on Mr. B's passing was just like so like damn, man, lazy and just kind of crude, man. You know. Anyway, I don't like the headlines when you see. And I also think Vlad also posted one. It's like you see so and so's name, and then you like dead, and they're at their age, and I'm like, dead is just inappropriate. If you want to talk about flipping over into this century and things being inappropriate to use in this multimedia time, don't use dead. Don't use the word dead, because it's like dead is just not the term that you can actually fully explain, you know, because and sight, sound, story, and style, man, especially in the art, if you're coming out of the arts, everything is always forever alive anyway, and it's always in a perpetual motion.
Right.
When you're putting together a film, this you know, you most of the time, if you're looking at a film before 1960, every single one of those actors and actresses damn near are, you know, deceased and moved on. You don't say it's a dead film, you know?
Right.
I mean, music that you hear, you know, we're listening to music. It's like, oh yeah, all I do is listen to dead people, you know? It's like, you know, it's just, it's stupid after a while. So I think since more people have the time to be on front of screens and more people out there in the world have microphones, then now I think, okay, yeah, there's things that just are not going to wash this decade or shouldn't, you know?
Yeah.
Oh,
real quick, I'm gonna bring in our final co-host, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Hip Hop Gods Radio, Flatline.
Kapow.
Flatline.
Flat Lizzle.
What's up?
Salute, Flatline.
What's happening, sir?
Flat Lizzle.
I was on a plane and I got unbelievable email from Flatline. And he laid out the scheduling of Rap Station and the And You Don't Stop radio show, and like, I mean, it was a work of art, Flatline. I exchanged those Slick Rick drops.
Yeah.
Courtesy of Mandy, his manager wife. Big up to Mandy.
Yeah. Yeah, I just signed on late, of course, but I heard you talking about Harry Belafonte, and I was shocked by how short the segments were in terms of like news channels. How they would 2 minutes and done,
right?
Whereas I don't know, like someone from the royal family like passes away, and they spend the whole day talking about these people.
Yep,
like it's
24 hours of coverage.
Yeah, it's wild. Or there's like a police chase, or you know, whatever it is. They spend all this time and all this drama, and then there's this. I don't know. He was a great man, and people who know. But man, it was sad to see, because I thought it would be wall to wall coverage.
Nah, man, it's like we're in a different day right now, man. Mm-hmm. We're in a different day where the human life, as opposed to the machinery of things, is just in two different places, man.
Yeah.
And you know, back to Mr. B, and I was saying on Roland Martin's show, and also TMZ's also stopped me at the airport, and I thought I was better. You know, I was pretty eloquent on their answers. You know, because they're always in a hustle, but they're always polite to me. At least the person that I run into, or the people I run into. And, you know, the first question was about, you know, Harry Belafonte. So, okay, cool. This is a reason to like talk to you guys, you know. Mm-hmm. And I always talk to them. I'm open, you know, and they kind of reserve that area of something important goes down, you know, they reach out to me. So we have a respect for each other, because I'm not going to have any time for like, mud media, that type of stuff. So, we have our areas, and when that was appropriate. It was appropriate to ask me. It was appropriate for me to talk to them in the airport on my way out. But you stop all things for, to talk about somebody who I recently like dropped off illustration print to his house. And I said, I dropped off to the house at the bottom of his building. And I was like telling Mrs. Belafonte, I said, nah, I'm just dropping at the front. I'm not going to come up, and he has to get ready and all that. Nah. Anyway, he had been blinded for a year. He was been blind for a year. So he really couldn't see. So I dropped off the portrait of him, which I also have, I think, in my book. But this was a 11 by 17, really big printout, and dropped a card. And when I got back in the car, she had sent me a text that they were moved, and she was describing the picture to him. And this is on March 2nd, so
yeah, wow.
And I didn't want like, to see him and all. I knew that, to get him ready was a whole nother thing. I'm just dropping something by, just hollering, drop the pizza down at the door, man, all good, So I was just recently, so.
Yeah.
But long story short, he is the reason why we, especially as Black entertainers, even realize that we could be beyond ourselves. He carried the grace and dignity and intelligence and all those stuff, and then he was like parlaying it into an active body, mind, and soul and spirit, where he was very clear that, hey, listen, I'm an activist, and then I became an artist. He told me a story, man, that he says he was working, 17, 18 years old, he was working and as a superintendent inside of a Harlem building, as a super. And he said he was putting up the blinds for this, woman's apartment. And he's putting up the blinds, it's hot and stuff like that. And he put up the blinds, and I think he there was no air conditioning. So, he said, I did a real damn good job. Then he's expecting a tip, kind of like the type of job he did. He said the woman gave him 2 tickets to a theater. So he looks at me and says, and she gives me 2 tickets to a theater. And I'm like, what the is a theater? Exactly like that. I was on the floor, yo. Literally, he said, what the, well, that's right, this is short. He said, what the fuck is a theater? And he says, I had an attitude. I went home, I put the 2 tickets on my desk. I didn't even look at them for about like maybe a month. Then the Saturday came along. I said, let me go just see what this is. And he said he went down there. It was National Negro Theater in Harlem, and that's where he met Ruby D, Ossie Davis, Sidney Poitier, and others, all going at theater. And he said from that he saw it was a hodgepodge of activity, and he said from that he was hooked.
Yeah.
And then he was in the theater, and he would go down there. He said it was just something that was great to do, and I got bit by it. And from now on, he moved on to what? Making records.
Yeah.
I think the label he recorded for. I don't know. I forgot the label he recorded for. Well, definitely, it wasn't Columbia, but he recorded. I think RCA.
Think so. That sounds
right. RCA Victor, and I think he makes the Dayo, the Banana Boat song, cultural songs, because he said he wasn't a singer really, but then he's decided to sing songs. They were like, "Hey, you could sing from in the theater." He said, "I'll sing some songs based on folk songs that I learned." And then that blew up.
Mm-hmm.
Then he got invited into going into film since he's a recording artist who has some theater chops. And then all of a sudden, boom, he's in films, movies. A lot of people probably go back and see him in Carmen Jones.
Yep.
You know, with Dorothy Dandridge and others.
Yeah.
And this is all happening before 1960.
Yeah.
So he's the full package of Renaissance super artist. And he says his hero that he happened to emulate, that he happened to be a good friend of, Paul Robeson. And Paul Robeson is his hero. And Paul Robeson, you know, he's the first, you know, multifaceted superstar.
Yeah.
Could sing, run you over in football at Rutgers, speak 8 languages, you know, I mean, acting in films, you know, at that time for Oscar Michaud, just like, and then, of course, active in politics.
Yeah.
And Harry Belafonte says, you know, even in the latter days, he would ask Paul Robeson, his hero, like, well, what should I do? And he said, Paul Robeson would tell him, he says, every generation has to figure out for themselves how to lead. You can lead but so much, but when you pass the baton, you have to be able to, you know, figure out how you give those tools for each generation to fend for itself in leadership. Every generation has to stand up and lead for itself and pass those attributes down the generational ladders. This is before 1960, 61. It's going into what? He's there with movements that's going in there from anywhere from Dr. Martin Luther King's movement, who's is one of his best friends. There's pictures of Mr. B and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. with Dr. MLK is just cracking up. So they're homeboys like that, you know. There was movements and the murder of the 3 students in Mississippi that Mr. B went on down and motivated activity in the South. There was no upshot. Nobody knew what would happen, but you know, Mr. B said first and foremost, you know, it was one of those things where I was always active. I was an activist-minded person before I became an artist, and those things just fell in my lap. And fast forward all the way up, you know, when Public Enemy was inducted, the 36th act at that particular time to be inducted first year unanimously. They had a rule up to that time saying that a younger act had to usher in the inductee because it was a TV show. Because HBO was the host TV show situation, and they were like, I don't know, we don't do it that way. And I was like, well, we want our hero to use that platform. We really want to honor our hero who's honoring us. We really want to take this me thing into a we thing. And you know what? We're not going to show up if it don't happen. And anybody that knows me on here, I was like, I will gladly stay my ass home if it ain't right. And it wasn't, you know, I got big respect for the Rock Hall, more respect than I have for HBO. But then we got up to a compromise, and the compromise was, well, you know, they were like, we never did anything. We don't know if everybody knows him. We don't know if ratings will dip or whatever. And I was like, that's none of my concern whatsoever. That's your TV show. It's about, we're being inducted. If it's going to be there, it's going to have to be just like this. Then that's where they threw Spike Lee in. And they said, well, can Spike be part of it? I'm like, yeah. Because both Public Enemy and Spike come from that same quilted cloth of Harry Belafonte.
Yeah.
So it made sense.
Yeah.
And he went 3,000 miles from his home to induct us into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. 2013, spoke to the world, and we were honored to be able to have our hero enjoy our platform to speak to the world on change. So, I mean, our participation over the years has been like whenever, on call, I'll be there as the best I can. So that's, So yeah, getting the news early today was okay.
Yeah.
I and others knew that he was frail, but it's one thing knowing somebody's frail, and it's another thing getting the news that he's moved on.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
Yep. I can't believe it's been 10 years since you guys were inducted into the Hall of Fame. Jeez.
Yeah, man. And you see how much I aged? More silver in my beard.
You and me both.
That's right. Matter of fact, Doc, I bet you was like an embryo.
I know, right?
You had flatline.
It's been over 20 years.
Yeah.
Since that.
You and flatline were barely out of 8th grade.
So ridiculous.
Neophytes, as Walt Frazier says.
Oh man.
Damn.
Well, I don't think we were that young, but yeah.
Yeah, we were. Yeah.
He was that young compared to me.
Yeah.
Right.
You were only what? 40? You were almost. Right. You were 39 when you and I met.
Exactly, 39. Wow. That's like Jack Benny's lion age.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I was on the edge of 40. That's when the doc. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, man.
Good times. Enemy board, and the enemy board. We're enemy board graduates.
Yeah, we are. We are enemy board.
Indeed.
Graduates. Well, might as well bring him in. He's here. Our guest tonight.
Another young man who was in 8th grade. No,
yes, another 8th grader.
Yep. Let him tell it.
Yes, and this is his return to the show. He has a new album, EP, be specific, out on Spit Slam Records with DJ Bless One. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show, Antlive.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
What's good? What's good? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Beautiful. Thank you for having me.
My brother. How are you doing, sir?
Oh, I'm doing good, Chuck. I'm thankful and happy to be back on this show, man. The show is becoming bigger and bigger, man. From the last time I was on it, from the inception of the show, you can just see the audience growing and the bigger artists coming on and people feeling like, yo, they got to be a part of this.
Yeah, you help make it. You help make those legs get some, some red blood cells in it and start to get up and jump and dunk like you used to do.
Hey, man, I'm still doing it, man. I got the hoop in the backyard, man. Come on.
I know.
I'll tell you, the house is for the wife. The court is for me. I got to stay energetic,
Well, you got your studio.
Yeah, but I'm up in age now, so the studio is only used at different creative points of the year. You know what I'm saying? So the basketball court being out here in Houston, that's something every day that I can, I'm moving, I'm shaking all my bodies. You move your head, your arms, your legs, your ankles, everything moves when you're shooting balls. So you're getting it all in.
Does that help you go right back into the studio once you're tuned up? You get a couple of hoops, you go back in, because when you rhyme like you on a fast break, like you on the wing. You know what I'm saying? And and you hit that chorus, man, and just tell us. I mean, the story goes back, and you said on the last show how we hooked up and met, and we were outside the Joe Louis Arena, and where I think I was coming through the door and I ran into you. Now you got to fill out the story a little bit more, but I always did things like that. And I think I was running late. And I was running late getting inside the arena. And I think that's where we first met.
Yeah, it was something similar like that, man. I had to kind of bum rush my way through there. I think we were more or less running to get out of the arena. See, when we were in the arena, you had performed the show,
Okay.
and as I've stated before, um, back then we didn't have social media, so there were press conferences. And after the show, you and Ice T had your it was a NWA Ice T, and you guys had your big press conference, and I made my way back there, and I think I ran into Griff, and he was a hard sell because he was like, "Yo, okay, you want to meet Chuck?" And he was like, "Yeah, I want to meet Chuck." So we were able to go over there and give you our story. I was able to press upon you what you meant to me, and and this new game and this new hip hop, and I felt like, yo, when I was talking to my guys, MF911 the other day, you know, they're working on a documentary with me. And they were stating, man, do you remember that? I said, and I asked him, I said, when do you think we knew we had something? He said, man, when you brought Chuck over to my house. And yeah, he said, that's when I knew we had something. And it was, you know, from there, man, you know, this good energy and this positive hip hop and this rap god moniker is come upon me because it's been over 20 years. But I can definitely say my inception into the game and my entrance and all my motivation, I knew I had something when you told me I had something.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought that number one, I always thought that Detroit was an underserved market. And we will always go to Detroit. And I'm like, how are we going to go to a place that's 15,000 deep in Joe Louis and nobody know what's going on in the rap scene. Now, I had a little bit of an advantage because when the Def Jam tours would roll through there, I had family in Detroit. My grandfather was there,
That's right.
You know, his wife was there, I had cousins, aunts, and uncles, and the whole nine. So I would spend time in Detroit, like in times where rap didn't even exist. I would come to Detroit 1974. I remember being out there when Nixon had to leave office, and I'm here in Detroit watching it on TV. Wow. I'm amazed at Detroit. And I used to take long walks, right, from 7 Mile and to Kendra, where my grandparents live, and I would walk all the way across 7 Mile, 6 Mile, up to 8, go over the state fair. I would go all on the other side of Wyoming, and I know I'm giving Detroit landmarks, but I know you get what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
So I would have relatives like, boy, you don't know where you going. Where you walking to? I'm like, I'm just walking. They can't rob me for nothing. I ain't got nothing. I'm just walking. They were like, well, you don't even know where you going. I said, well, I'll end up going wherever I'm going to be. And so I learned a lot about Detroit way in the 70s and 79, right where hip hop was starting. I would go out to Detroit. The roller rinks was popping. P-Funk was popping. I'm gonna go to the roller rinks and get my skate on. And my aunt lent me a car. And now once I got a car, I'm driving around.
Okay.
In the early 80s, there's shows that's on in Detroit, like, what do you call the show with Morris? What is his name?
Nat Morris, the scene.
Yeah, Nat Morris.
Scene.
The scene. And they had a club that was over there that the scene used to come over to the club, and I would see like the craziest hairstyles, and I would be like, Detroit is popping. And I would come back to Long Island, and I couldn't even describe it. But I said, when I started going out there as an artist, I was like, they got to be something that's popping in this town because I keep hearing stories of running them playing Cobalt Hall and everybody dressing like Run DMC. There got to be somebody in Detroit that's got to be standing out. And there was a bed of talent, but nobody would come to Detroit and figure out how to bring it to New York. So when I ran into you, and it was like almost like something coming to me instead of me looking for it, you know.
Wow, that's kind of deep. And you kind of talk about these Detroit streets and how you ran the Detroit blocks. It's crazy because when we left Joe Louis that evening, you told me that you needed me to pick you up the next day, where I actually ended up taking you to the hotel. And then you was like, you said, Aunt, I'm gonna just stay back a couple days and hang out with my grandparents. And the tour is gonna move on, and I'm gonna catch a plane to the next stop. And I remember taking you over to your grandparents' house on 7 Mile. Ironically, that's the same block that my wife's grandmother lives on. And
Wow.
I end up marrying my wife all of them years later. So it's a big city, but it's a very small city. But you knew the streets, and you knew Detroit, and you knew what was going on. But I just think it was like almost like the gift and the curse, by us not having social media and cell phones at the time. We lost touch with you, but we were still able to and get on through said G and still be able to reconnect with you. But you had artists like that you were able to reach out, and you were able to impress upon what you were doing, like Awesome Dre, and you worked with Chaos and Maestro. So I just remember when you were coming in town after the for shows after you performed, when I initially met you, you were always putting that new Detroit group on. So, and that was dope. I didn't have a record out at that time. I was playing college ball, but I knew where I had to be, and I knew where we had to go to get to it, because even though you worked with them guys, you were naming us and you were molding us. And I was kind of I was speaking with somebody, and I was like, yeah, Chuck had us like he was doing the leaders of the new school. I said, we were in Detroit. And I said, he would spend all of these different hours on the phone with us. And, here's this guy, as I said before, I said, this guy at the time, he's the Jay-Z of rap, so everybody everybody dreams to be in Chuck D's spectrum or whatnot. So we were, for some reason, you caught liking to us, and you kind of just reshaped and remolded our whole group from phone conversations. So that was motivation enough for me to say, yo, even though Chuck is not right here to get me on Soul Records with the Young White Teenagers or Son of Berserk, he gave me the tools and the motivation that I needed to go get with Ultramagnetic and Said G and Kool Keith, and to jump my thing off. So it's kind of ironic how everything kind of falls back and kind of goes 360, and now we're here to this point. So Detroit has been good. We were delayed in our hip hop movements.
Yeah.
So coming out when me, Sid, Maney, and Tim came out as MF911, there was no hip hop scene in Detroit. There was no spot where the guys would go to rap or formulate. So it was like everything pretty much was either formulated in your hood, and even if you were formulated in your hood, you needed a baller, somebody with money to invest in your situation.
Yeah, I mean, one of he said the blessing and the curses is that once I became down with the Public Enemy thing, I was really the person that was supposed to, what we wanted to do, which is also Detroit related, and we wanted to become the Motown of hip hop and rap music. We knew what we had in our whole circle and circuit. We knew we could make something bigger, or if not bigger, better than what they were doing with Def Jam. But once I was out of the mix, that's why we didn't sign Leaves to the New School. I
Right.
named they named off of a verse and Don't Believe the Hype. I mean, once I left, I thought that situation would get solidified and it split up into pieces. So I was coming back to nothing. So I only thing I could do is give advice and hope that somebody would have the energy like yourself to go to an Eddie O'Loughlin, who we had deals with. At the same time, it was what do you call Select Records with Fred
That's right.
Mineo.
Mhm.
Independence was still in their last days trying to make some things happen, but I was the middle glue to really seriously how to really do it label wise. And now, here I'm out on stage doing Public Enemy. So now I'm out of my mode. I'm out of my spot. So big up to you to at least having that energy, and also big up to our bros, said G, for being able to see that in you. And I felt that the omission and the void that was there that should never have been there was filled up, and you guys got to where you had to be anyway.
It is, man, and I'm kind of thankful for it. It's just like I think the one thing that we didn't have from Detroit is by not having a hip hop scene, we didn't have a hip hop team.
Yeah.
So, when we got the deal, we were unknown guys. So, I remember we were getting advice from High Five's manager at the time, who was a local Detroit guy, and he was real
Mm,
good. He was real good to us. You know what I'm saying? He went by the name of Jonathan Kinlock. So he
mm.
kind of worked with Puffy and
Nope.
He'll pop back on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Very, very much innovative in a city that seemed like it never got any love. Here you go, Ed's back.
yeah. So I mean, when we had these guys who didn't understand what hip hop was or rap was, once we got the deal with Eddie O'Loughlin and Said G, we were looking for Said G to more or less put what he did on Ultra. And, well, like I said, hip hop changing, and they were working on the Funk Your Head Up album. Um, we weren't getting the tracks and everything that we needed. So we really didn't have the guidance. And I think, me and my guys were discussing, because I had to play the role of manager, role manager, everything. So it was hard. So some of these decisions that I was making, I wasn't making the right decisions in discussions with the label, and in the discussions with Said G or whatnot. I wasn't making the right decisions, because it got to the point where I got so frustrated, because I felt like, I brought Jay Dilla to the table,
Mm-hmm.
and Eddie O'Loughlin didn't want to pay Jay Dilla.
Wow.
Yeah, he didn't. It's this
Yeah.
new kid. It's this new kid, and we're going to R.J. Rice studio in Southfield. R.J. Rice, who ends up running Slum Village and
Mm-hmm.
putting that whole situation together. We're recording the MF911 album, the songs that we didn't record in New York there, and we got all the tools we need to propel us into this next stratosphere of hip hop, but we didn't get to utilize that situation. So I was really frustrated. So I just remember our manager was like, yo, we need to be signed direct to the label. That's what you need to do. We don't need Said G, and you don't need all these guys. And I'm thinking to myself, well, damn, Said G's the one who got us the deal.
Yeah.
But but in all of this mix up where the guy is just, he's dropping in, giving us advice, and it works when you're working with majors and you're bringing something to the label. They're not just taking a chance on you on talent. So I think our label said, yo, we discovered you strictly on talent. You ain't got
Mm-hmm.
no following. You don't have no single out. We just strictly off of Said G's words. So I just think once we had that discrepancy with Said G and trying to take the project to the next level, I think it kind of just really took the air out of the flow. So, the record company didn't go hard for us. And looking back at all of these years later, I understand why. I'm like, damn, Said G is the one who brought us to the label. So even if the label was going to do us good, bad, or ugly, maybe we should have not pulled out that card until we got to the second album.
Well,
You know what I'm saying?
what had happened at that time, I think, if at that turn, and I'm just speaking like industry wise, is that
Right.
at that time, Said and Ultra had gone on the Polygram, I think.
Yes, Mercury.
So they went to Mercury, so that was their obligation. So therefore, Next Plateau was almost like, well, they was trying to keep up with the majors signing a lot of hip hop and rap acts and starting to saturate the marketplace, and they was trying to squash out independents at that time, because the independents by no way was going to spend that type of money to keep anything out there, and they wasn't going to do no $25,000 videos and stuff like that.
Correct.
So it was an interesting time to get signed, but in retrospect, Said was probably had bigger obligations, but at least he had that he had left that vacancy at Next Plateau.
He did, and it was a great him and Eddie O carried a great relationship, even though that they made that transition from Next Plateau to Polygram. He still kept a good relationship with Eddie O'Loughlin. So their bond was so dope and so cool that a complaint from us really was more like, yo, really, man? So, that's why I was like, yo, maybe, we, as me and my partners discuss, yo, why didn't we get that big push? We try to look at different things, and I try to look at it realistically and be like, okay, maybe that was one of the reasons that we didn't get that extra push. But the great thing is whether it was an extra push, little push, or big push, it still kind of propelled us up into national spotlight, where we had records in other countries and in America, and we had built a name for ourselves. So hindsight, I'm looking back like I was 22, 23 23 years old when the MF911 album dropped, Idol to Bloodsport, and I'm 52 years old right now, still making a partial living off of that product that I created, which was really put together by no other one than the grand, incredible Said G himself, and guided by that. So I'm thankful that I'm able to be in this moment, in this time, through all the blood, sweat, and tears, and still be able to rock it. And much of that goes to my guys, man. Said Rat, which was the other lead rapper and producer in the group. He was the voice, the power. He had the voice like Chuck, and I was always trying to keep up with his talent, because his talent was undeniable.
Yeah.
He sing, he rap.
Damn, and he's a big voice and Maine, yo.
Manny Main was the best rapper in the group, so he's the one who had the dopest lyrics. Said was the best voice. He had the best cadence. I was the guy who was willing to put myself out there, and any way to be out there. That's what I needed to do, because my other guys was laid back in the cut. So we all really had a dope role together as a trio. So that's why it take me back is if we had the right team behind us, man, MF911 would have been next level, I kind of think.
Antlive, MF911. What? Give us a little bit, because we know that it set off a lot of areas that you didn't live. Places like Europe, places really all over the map that was catching the fire of distribution through an independent rap record. But give me a story when your record came out. that you were kind of surprised locally? Like when somebody in Detroit, and when you first looked at the record, and when somebody else in your locale, not anywhere else, saw the record. Give me a story of that first surprise.
Oh man, that's an incredible story, man. You know, because I played college basketball, so guys knew me pretty much for basketball in Detroit. So you know, I met the days of Derek Coleman and Steve Smith and Chris Webber and Jalen Rose. So all of these basketball greats, and I'm in the mix with these guys. This is what I do. But at this time, I'm in college. So when my album comes out in October, I want to say October 7th, 1993. I'm in college playing college ball. I'm at basketball practice. So I just remember the video coming on BET. What was my man? Joe, not Joe Torre, but the other Joe Black or
Joe Claire.
Joe Claire.
Mhm.
Joe Claire. He was the host, and they played the video. And you know, I'm always been a laid back guy, and I think a lot of times when hip hop was so young in Detroit, when I would come up and tell guys, yeah, man, I'm this rapper and I'm down with Chuck D and Public Enemy. And yeah, Chuck D's like my big brother and he didn't name my group. It was like I was the biggest liar in the city. You understand? It's just, you know, guys was like, man, this nigga shut up, man, with all of these lies, man, please. So you guys gotta understand there's still at this point in time there's no social media. So if we're not getting it from national TV or whatever, Detroit, we're a dance city type of music. So we still bugging off the scene and Nat Morris and stuff. So we don't have a hip hop show. But when my record comes out in 1993, you know, Awesome Dre was before me and Chaos and Maestro was before me. I remember Cahill Felder, my man Paris Hickman, and all of these basketball guys calling me on my dorm room phone. And no, it was I had an apartment by that time. I was out of the dorm. I had an apartment, and they were calling me and telling me, "And is that you?" And I'm like, he said, "Aren't you playing college ball right now?" And I'm like, yeah. So it was just like, yo, I was like, yeah, I had to get special permission from the NCAA to do this shit. So I was really flexing back then. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that was a highlight to really see these guys, you know, my peers on the basketball court, not really the rappers as much, but on the basketball court, reach out to me and say, damn, dude, you already, you know, look, I can't pack 30, 40,000 like you can, Steve Smith, but I can really give them 30, 40,000 worldwide, you know what I'm saying, on this music for history. So, you know, I'm just honored, you know, to be a part of this hip hop shit because, you know, think about it. We got billions and billions and billions and billions of people who probably passed through the planet Earth, right? And at this point in time, you know, hip hop is created and it's a new music and it's young and it's not like I have any guidance. And you know, New York has the Bronx and the Queens, and all you got to do is take a bus here or a train here, and they've got their public TV that kind of presents this, and they got the block parties. We have none of that in Detroit. So the only thing that I can do to stay a part of what I would eventually become is had to do that through well, MTV wasn't even created, so it all came through records. It came through the box. It came through in every century, every decade. There's a new development and there's a new way to stay a part of the hip hop game. And I just love what I'm doing so much. It gives me so much peace that I try to stay with and I'm a boom bapper. So like Chuck said, I'll boom bap you to death, but I'll try to stay up to date with my boom bap. So it's irrelevant to some people, you know, it's an acquired taste.
Yeah, it reminds me of those jazz cats that stayed with their, stayed with their bop. You know what I'm saying? And they ain't gonna go outside bop. They're gonna keep bopping. We're talking
Well,
to Antlive.
yeah, that's right.
Antlive that got his new project out, and that's why I took the leading mantle on the interview. I will catch you on the other side. I'm gonna stay on for a little longer, but just to know that, that your energy. I always thought that Detroit could have and would have been the second hip hop city, and it is through different reasons. And later on, I'll tell you a little bit of this story. They gave Motown presidency to Andre Harrell in the late '90s, and I felt that I was telling these people at these record companies, especially the one I was with, Polygram, which later on turned to Universal. And I told them, you guys bought Motown, but nobody knows more about Motown than me. And I know it's going to pop back. And I'd be like, nobody knows more about Motown than me. And so I said, listen, I know you already gave it to Andre Harrell, and he's supposed to be your whatever to take, Motown to the level that y'all expect them to take it to. But I said Detroit needs a different thing. Detroit, y'all should set up a Tamla satellite office that just does rap in Detroit. You can even do it out of the same Hitsville building. And they thought I was out of my mind. And this is at the same time that they told Andre Harrell he did this nationwide talent contest for Motown, and I don't even know who won it. And I know that people was going to sign up for Motown with lines around the buildings to go up and do this big talent contest on BET or whatever. And I just said, listen, y'all spending all this money, making all this noise, set me up with a small 10 by 10 room in Detroit, and I'll just have rappers come through there, and we gonna do it, and I'll show you. Call it Tamla, you know what I'm saying? Since y'all bought Motown, and I'll show you. They didn't give me that shot. They were like, nah, we got our plans, and they ruined Motown. They bought it and they ruined it, man.
It's kind of bad, man, because all of the greats from Detroit, we can go from, like I say, you go from guys from Awesome Dre to Eminem. Well, you can't you discount Eminem, but you got your
Royce the 5'9",
Royce the 5'9s, and your Guilty Simpsons, and your Fat Cats, and your Fat Fathers, and you've got all of these kind of these greats.
Proof.
Pinochle,
Champ Town, who found and discovered half of them cats out there.
Yeah,
Black man, you know.
Yes, Low Lewis. So you got all of these greats, right? And all we needed was Motown, a Motown type of setting to cultivate it. But even in this setting, it's a shame that all of us had to go rely on somebody out of state, or not even years later. If you think about it with Jay Dilla was putting on a lot of rappers from Detroit, but that wasn't until the 2000s. We missed that whole 90s.
Yep.
You understand that 90s gap. So we had Eminem at the end, but I think Eminem was more 2000. I think it was 2001 or something.
Yeah, more Eminem at the end, but that catches on with Dre, and Dre has the ability to go and take it out west, where they were more fertile and more open and more understanding. And then it was Dre that said, "Well, we're gonna take this into a recording realm."
That's right.
But the 90s, going from 89 to 90, and I remember actually having Awesome Dre on a tour, a couple of show dates, and I was like, Detroit is the market, man. Detroit is the market, and I couldn't get these cats to get it. I couldn't get them to get it, because I told them, I said, listen, Detroit got a way of rapping that New York will never understand. They can adopt, but they could do anything. They could do west, east, north, and south.
That's right.
I thought that Detroit was going to be that spot, and then the South.
That's right.
Because I've lived in
That's
all these
right.
areas, man, and they didn't get it, and it's a missed mark.
Well, you know what? They didn't get it, but they got it now because it's like even with the new rap and the drill rap and the trap rap, I think a lot of Detroit guys are running this new hip hop
Yeah,
game. So
right.
what I'm saying, years later, a day later, dollar short, it's all good. We're here and we're where we need to be right now in this hip hop game. But the new product, this music that I got coming out and this documentary that I'm working on and these different projects that I'm working on is definitely inspiration and something, like a document of what I've been through in all of these decades as we speak about Detroit, as we talk about the 80s, as you mentioned, the 70s first, back to 74, and then we bring it to the 80s and the 90s and the 2000s with this documentary that I'm working on that's happened to be narrated by Chuck. I'm going to be able to show and document and highlight a lot of these things within the Detroit hip hop community that were highlights, and then like you had on your album, the greatest misses. We have some of the greatest misses in our city. So I think I'm here to kind of I'm still vocal. I'm still, as they say out on the West Coast, I'm still active. You know what I'm saying? So I've still got the message. I still remember the game, and I still got the knowledge. So I'm gonna still bring it to the table as a Detroit artist and a representative, man. Definitely.
I think also that you keep in currency the fact that you remain, young, spirited, and I just think that we're going to enter a time where the next 20 years is going to blow everybody's mind from a whole bunch of different uh, vantage points, angles, and you're in the middle of that mix, Antlive, and it's a big record that you've just released, and yo, man, it stays with what you about, and that's the most that anybody can ask for, especially in the days of upcoming artificial intelligence.
Oh man, that's crazy. Man, this is about as authentic as you get. Is this new album, this new EP, dual cassette. It's produced by my partner, DJ Bless One. So Bless is, I think he's from, no, he is from Illinois, but he's moved around to El Paso and he's North Carolina and lived in Cali. And the brother is just really, really enigmatic with his beats. He's kind of got an off cadence to his beats. So with his beats being so of an off cadence, I kind of formulated my rhymes to kind of fall off. So we did about 5 songs. We did about 7, 8 songs, and we picked about 5 to go on this EP, with the first single being Odd and Unique. And I recorded the video last year for that one in England. And it's unfortunate, it's that the video has a lot of, it means a lot to me because I recorded that video maybe 2 weeks before my son passed away. And it kind of, when he passed away last April 22nd, a few days ago last year, when he passed, I said I wasn't going to do music. I really didn't feel the creative energy. He was my son Anthony Jr. was my inspiration, so it was like, oh man, I'm in England recording this video and doing these shows, and you mean to tell me 2 weeks later my son passed away? So it was like it just didn't equate. It didn't weigh like, yo, man, I shouldn't have been doing this. I should have been, but through God, you know what I'm saying, God, it's been time and I've been healing, and I get to speak to my son and speak to God and everything, and it just was like, yo, man, come with it, come with it, and you know how you would do if your son was here, you know. So did you got to, you had your son party, part of what you were doing when he was alive. So it excited me because to do this new song and to put this video out and to put this project out, because I didn't even know my son was rapping, Chuck. So we've got a studio in the house, And you know, when he would be here, I guess he would be going to the studio while I was at work, because you know I'm an educator by day. So he would be recording, and then when he passed away, he had a bunch of songs on his phone. So I'm like, hold on, he's doing this as well, and I'm about to stop. Nah, that don't make sense. He was doing this on a sneak tip, wasn't even telling me and shit. You know, so
Wow.
those things inspired me to help and to continue to create this project with the world famous DJ Bless One, and to put it out on Spit Digital, man. You know, I'm a slam jams artist, so you know it's only right that some of the most moving and spiritual music that I create comes through a channel where it's just it's accepted, and and the excitement is there and getting into the masses. So no, man, this album does something. Like I said, it's about 5 songs, and he produced every one. The next single we're dropping, and besides Odd and Unique, we just dropped that one. The next one we'll be dropping is called Grand Rising. I just filmed that out in El Paso, Texas. Yeah, so I did a show with Mobb Deep. You know, being with the label and being independent, you have to do it all. So you know, I booked Mobb Deep out there in El Paso, and went out there and did the album release and you know, did the whole performance and everything. So we shot the video for Grand Rising out there, and that'll be the next single up, man.
Wow.
Which I just happened to play as the Spit Slam Jam of the Week.
Okay.
This week. So
yeah,
good timing. Nice little segue there, Ant. Thank you.
Good time.
Yeah, okay.
Good time.
Yeah, no doubt, man. But I appreciate you guys for the support that you give that you give Antlive, and that you just give the world. Chuck, your interviews that you've been doing lately, promoting the books and everything else, have just been probably some of the most important podcasts in history. Because the kind of crazy thing is man, it's like I run the world with you. You know what I'm saying? I'm blessed to be considered a little brother of sort, and to see guys like Noriega and all of these interviewers be so excited to hear you talk and to give your message on their platforms. And I'm thinking to myself, man, I call Chuck any old day if I want. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, man, I feel like, yo, I made it, man.
Well, you guys have shot so many videos for all your albums. You're really one of the first do-it-yourself video makers for some time. So I'm just here to tell you, Ed, by the end of this week, we're finally launch padding Bring the Noise app.
Yes, sir.
So we be looking like that 1 minute, 2 minute snippets of your videos, every single one you did. Ride with it, because everybody else is gonna come with it with all that stuff. But our inner circle is gonna be first and foremost highlighted and spotlighted. But we got to be able to have your visuals. As I see C-Doc's finger.
Yeah, I'm pointing to Ultra Mag. We got to get Ultra Mag in there.
Oh yeah, for sure, Ultra Mag.
I'm waiting. Yep. I'm waiting.
You know, yeah, it's launching Friday, so you've been the first and foremost. And well, you know, when you just wasn't satisfied with doing, you know, a song, man, you one of the first cats I knew that, yo, man, if you recording 7 songs, you got 7 videos.
Well, that's the way it got to be. You know, Chuck, I kind of learned from RJ Rice. Like I said, I remember when Eddie O gave us the budget to go record in his studio. And I was thinking to myself, you know, I'm watching him work the board and everything. And I knew how to make beats, but I wasn't on the mix boards or nothing like that. So I'm watching us spend our budget over in his studio in 1992. I'm like, man, I could do this shit myself, man. I'm like, yo. So I was getting I had basketball scholarship. So with the basketball scholarship, I was taking out the loans as well. So I was just using the loans to buy the equipment and letting the scholarship pay for. So where everybody else, like I was telling you, when everybody else was getting fresh, I just had a apartment full of recording equipment. So as we were further, and as I would further my career, I never had to spend money on anything that, if I needed to get something duplicated, I had the equipment. The only thing I couldn't press up was wax.
Yeah.
But I could do CDs and cassettes. So I was always a do-it-yourself guy. And by not being considered the top producer or the best rapper or having money to do these things, hey, I had to do it myself. So once I learned how to do the programs, my videos were cheesy, but as YouTube was coming on, they were cheesy, but people were watching them.
I don't think they're cheesy at all. I think they're vintage.
The old ones are more cheesier, but I think the newer ones are, I kind of learned how to do it a little bit better, Chuck.
Oh well. I know, but like C-Doc would explain. Yeah,
Yes,
once
sir.
you get behind the camera, you get that Antlive, D DeMille, point of view.
Yeah, that guerrilla filming.
Yeah,
That's what we call that guerrilla filming, man. But now
I like them. I like it that way. To me, I think it's just like the boom bap of videos.
Okay. And that's how I like it, man. I was what excited me about hip hop is, as everybody, as you're loving your music, as you're picking the genre of the music you like, rather it's being jazz or R&B or orchestra, as you're picking that music, as I was picking the subgenre, as we would say it in hip hop, I like the raw stuff. I had liked seeing when the rappers were in their rawest form, and I think when I heard 98, my 98 Oldsmobile, and it was one of probably the rawest records I heard, and I was like, okay, my vibe and my hip hop needs to sound like this, and this needs to sound like Ultramagnetics chorus line. That's what it needs to sound like. So so I always, whether I had a budget or I didn't, I just wanted the dirtiest grind. I wanted to be the guy rhyming in the sewer. You understand what I'm saying? I didn't want to be with the guy with the gold chain. So that's what my music kind of, I'm in from the alleys. I got alleys from my hood in Detroit. So that's where I wanted my music to sound like.
Alleys behind the crib. Matter of fact, my You're Gonna Get Yours trivia that I gotta always plug in. That groove is from Dennis Coffey, Turning It On, which is and Dennis Coffey, a great guitarist from Motown, and also made Scorpio. But my 98, which is made by what? General Motors, Oldsmobile. And Dennis Coffey spent years working at General Motors for Oldsmobile and Buick, stapling together doors.
Wow. I didn't even know what a 98 Oldsmobile was. But all I know is when I heard that, I was like, wow. And that was after Rebel. After Rebel. So
Okay.
Rebel was probably, I know you probably heard this before, but Rebel is probably the greatest hip hop song of all time. Probably one of the greatest hip hop songs of all time. Would you guys agree?
We thought so that summer.
Yeah.
We thought so that summer.
The worst thing you did the worst thing you did, Chuck, though, is you didn't give the world a video for Rebel. And you know what? As many videos as you shoot and as many songs as you record, you should do like some of the Wu-Tang guys did. They went back and they did old videos to their old songs.
C-Doc could tell you we started that. Go ahead.
Yeah, we started that shit.
Yeah.
But Rebel needs to be done. And then you need to make sure Charles Barkley is in it. You know what I'm saying? You need to, and you don't go get the old Charles Barkley from the days. You get the new Charles Barkley right now, and you do. But Rebel should be on the top of the list, C-Doc, for him to redo. That should be a no-brainer. Before you do anything, it should be Rebel.
You know, you speaking of videos that almost were, and you're gonna get yours. You know, yeah.
Oh yeah, you're going to get the story, and I'm not spending long because I got to exit it and watch y'all from the screen. But you're going to get yours was actually a video. We shot it in 1987. A German film crew came over to film us in Roosevelt, Long Island. So I told them, I said, listen, yeah, cool. We're going to all meet at his part in Roosevelt, and I got the 98 posse to come over. And we was doing it in this open field, right? So the 98 posse, 6 98s, right, was doing tricks while we were rhyming in the middle of them doing spinnings and circle 8s. And yo, man, I'm up there doing, and then they filmed the video. Yo, so it was like, yo, and because back in the day, you saying that we doing a video in your hometown, yo, man, everybody came. This is 1987. Yo, I said that was the greatest video ever. Mm-hmm. So then I'm finding out about it, right? And I ask about it. I said, well, like, what happened? And they said the part of the crew one of the guys opened up the film cans.
Oh no.
Gone.
Open the film cans. Gone. Everything.
Gone.
That's horrible. That's just like a video that we did, me and DJ Bless, we did the cassette tape. This is dual cassette. And it's kind of with these stories parallel. We were recording the song called Stripped off the cassette tape album 2019, and I did the Jay Dilla tribute show in El Paso. So you know how I am, Chuck. Everywhere I go, everywhere we tour, we got to get a video in. So I'm an extremist. I got to say, look, I don't have a budget, but what is the most extreme thing I could do to put myself out there? So I told the guys, yo, let's go to the border. One of the guys who came to my show, his name is IMAP, he owns a clothing store down there. He was like, yo, man, well, we could just go into Juarez, Mexico. I know the guys over there. We got to get permission from the guys, the drug dealers downtown, but they'll let us do a show. So, they'll let us come film a video. I guess my guy, IMAP, was connected or whatever. So we go to the border. He films us I'm walking across in between the cars going from El Paso to Juarez, Mexico. The police are out there this is 2019, they're out there with machine guns and everything. But there's nothing wrong. I'm looking at all of the other Mexicans because they're selling things as people are driving their cars through. So I'm just doing what I'm doing. I've got my camera. So we're going across Juarez. We cross the border. He goes into the local head honcho barbershop. He introduces me to the guys, and he's like, yo, my man want to shoot a video here. We shoot the video. It's the most incredible thing. This is going to be big. And then I get back to Houston, and I'm excited. And I'm like, yo, man, did you edit it? The film corrupted, he said.
No! I don't like these stories.
So all we have, the most horrible thing. So all we have from that to prove that I did it is we live streamed it. They had people on the side live streaming it who was with me, and they was like, boom. So I was able to post the live stream of me walking across the border. But it was the most beautiful thing. But you know what? Everything that I've done since then, I just always, like I said, I just try to go next level. And now I'm able to make up this crazy. I'm back in I'm back there. It was 2019. It's 2023 right now. I just did a show, and I was able to shoot another video that's going to be just incredible for this Grand Horizon. So, this album, like I said, is, this EP, I keep calling the album, it's 5 songs. It's a short play. And the reason that we do short plays, Chuck, because we know that people's attention span, like mine.
Right.
Look, we got the Twitter fingers, and we scrolling, and if it ain't catching our attention in the first 10 to 15 seconds, we off to the next. So, you know, the ideal is to be able to bring you that energy, boom, hit you real quick, and then we up out of there.
Yeah. A great technique, man. Well, you know what? I'll catch you on the other side of the screen.
Yes, sir.
Salute to you, Antlive. Unbelievable project. We hope to really get your catalog and all your videos up on the new Bring the Noise app and the new Rap Station app, as well as the new rapcentralstation.net is alive and rolling, y'all. It's dope. It got the Spit Slam record label on it. It's got Rap Station on it. It's got you know, all the You Don't Stop. It got a lot of stuff on it from Hip Hop Guides and also this show. So yeah, go, and also Channel Zero. So yeah, salutes to you, Ant. Salutes to you, Ultra, Jen A, and also C-Doc and Flatline. I'll catch you on the other side of the screen as we carry on. Salute, y'all.
Peace.
Chuck.
Peace.
Yeah.
Man.
So we're back. Yes,
We're
sir.
back. Real quick, Dre Mays. Yes, I did do the Prophets of Rage video in Detroit, as a matter of fact. While Shock G was standing right behind me.
Wow. Okay.
Watching PE perform. Yeah. Yep.
Ultramag, are you a part of the Ultramagnetic MCs?
No, sir. But they are my favorite group. That's where it comes from.
Okay. Because I'm like, you know, I ran with them for a couple years, so I was like, yo, I'm trying to figure out, you know, guys come at different points and different times, and they join crews and stuff. So I was like, okay, you must be after me.
They're just my name, you know, social media handle comes from my favorite group and my favorite number. Just put them together.
Dope, man. Yeah. How ironic, man, to have a representative for the crew, so you know everything that I've been speaking about, and the energy and of what Ultramagnetic does for not just us, but for boom bap hip hop in general. They are the foundation.
When you said you wanted your stuff to sound like Chorus Line, I could just hear them. I hear those drums in that James Brown sample. I love that song. So I get what you're doing.
Said G, he reused that sample on our album. It was called Get Open, and he kind of did it, and he rhymed on it with us and everything. And you know, I thought we was gonna have a video. That was actually the song that got us the deal. And when we came to New York to get the deal, Said G recorded 2 songs with us, and one of the beats he flipped the chorus line type of joint and jumped on that with us, took that to Eddie O'Loughlin, and was able to secure us a deal. It was a beautiful thing, man. It was like, you know, a situation that just normally doesn't happen. So, like I said, once again, I got to pay homage to the G, because, like I said, we ran with Chuck, and he started this out, but we wouldn't have had no record deal if it wasn't for Said G. You know what I'm saying? So that's the great thing about him.
And when I know when you said, and I remember talking to you about it too, that you went on hiatus after your son passed away. I never fully believed that you were done, though, because you're that type of guy that energy flows through you into your music.
Yeah,
and I think it's I think it's such a part. Would you say it's such a part of you that, you know, it's hard to separate the two?
Man, it's been a part of my life. Like I said, I'm 52, so I just remember my mother telling me that my grandfather had me doing commercials for Grinnell's, a local music store here in Detroit, and I was playing the drums in a little TV commercial or whatever. It's 3 or 4, something like that. But so, you know, my father was a singer, and you know, he still tours right now. He went from R&B to gospel, and so it was in my blood. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't even know that. I didn't even, like I said, I didn't even grow up with my father. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really meet him and deal with him until I was an older man. I mean, an older teen, not a man, but an older teen. So I didn't even know I had it in my blood. You know what I'm saying? Like that. But it's something that I've always done. Music and basketball. When I found out what basketball was to me in the 5th grade and how it made me feel. You know, I wasn't the best basketball player, but I loved the game so much that I wasn't going to be denied playing high school or college or any other team I wanted to be a part of. So it was just like the same thing with rap. I understood that I had only, you know, such a talent that was in the box. So I knew with my talent that I could do certain things. I knew that I'm not the Jay Dilla, but he was my competition in my own head. And I knew that I wasn't Chuck or LL or whatever, but he was competition to me in my own head. So, you know, I use those things to inspire and motivate me and to tell me that, yo, man, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this. And it just stayed with me. It stayed with me through my marriage. It stayed with me through the good, the bad, when I had money and when I didn't have money. And, you know, here it is through the transition of my son. It's still here with me now. So, you know, the great thing is that I've grown and I've got more wisdom. So my message has changed. You know what I'm saying? What I'm trying to put, what I'm trying to give out and what I'm trying to say is definitely changed. I mean, I've been through, I wish that nobody ever have to lose a child. It's a different it's a different experience. It's an out of body experience. It's not like losing, God forbid, I haven't lost my mother and I haven't lost my father. So I'm thankful for that. I've lost a few relatives, like my grandmothers who raised me, and uncles and aunts or whatever. But it's not the same, if you kind of say, because these people have kind of lived their lives.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you can get some sort of satisfaction that, dang, such and such lived his life. It wasn't super long, but at least he got to experience these. So with my son only living 21 years, you know, a month away, he passed a month away from his birthday. He passed April 22nd, 2022, and his birthday is May 29th, you know, it was like, really? But, you know, I had to look at it as, you know, all of this was spiritual because my son was 21 years old. He had a fiance and he left me 2 grandkids. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, young guys, you know, yeah, they have kids, but I mean, he had 2 kids by 21 and I'm thankful for that. So those kind of things give me the motivation to continue to keep rocking. You know, my grandson is, you know, I help raise my grandson. He's with me my grandsons, they're with me every weekend and they're coming into my studio and talking about, play a song for me. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, what if I didn't have that? So, you know, you just use these things and every stage in life, C-Doc, in answering your question, I use different things to motivate me. And I'm just thankful, bro, because like I told you guys earlier, I'm one of 1 billion people in the world who got an opportunity to be a part of something that's better than me and greater than me. Yeah. And that's hip hop. You know what I'm saying? You know, I didn't pick being a doctor or striving to be a lawyer. And I strive to be like, God gave me all of these opportunities and these things you could do in these brains. And he said, you could pick this, you could pick that, and you pick this. And I was like, I think I want to dedicate my life to this music. And I've not had a platinum hit, and I've not had a hit at all, besides the production that I've done for various artists, from Ghostface to Chuck D to Razzcast to whomever. I've had these songs, you know. Hold on, let me see
bring it
that
up.
out.
There it is.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. So I'm
Man,
I've had my shots, is what I'm saying, and I'm just thankful for those shots because it's a million billion guys who ain't even had a chance to have that little shot or that little shine. So I got that attached to my name. That's legacy. That's something that I can build on, as black folk, as the generations of us grow, and we're here. We've got technology. We can document our lives. We don't have to go through ancestry anymore as we go into the next 100 and 200 years, because you can document everything, because if it's not in book or paper, it's online. It's you'll be my great grandkids and great grandkids will be able to go online and see their grandfather who was a rapper, this is where I come from, this is my lineage, blah 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 blah. So this is why, to answer your question, this is why I stay motivated and still doing this hip hop, and just thankful that God still give me a voice. I still got a studio, still got a mic, still a few people checking me out. I'm good, man.
So I gotta ask, and I don't even know if you actually know, how many projects have you put out? Because I know it's a lot.
Okay, so I try to keep up with. I almost kept up with every year, man. I ain't gonna even lie, man. It's like, if we go back to, I don't even have all my projects out, right? I don't even have them all back, but I know they're over 25, 30. It might be 30. It's over 35 projects. And like I said, some records I still haven't put out yet.
Yeah.
But on my Bandcamp, I think I got maybe 30 records out that I'm affiliated with in some way, if I haven't produced on it or I haven't executive it. I got these projects. So that's the great thing about this whole music game, because if you want to know what was on your grandfather's mind 100 years ago, listen to the damn songs. You understand? And he'll tell you his whole life. So, man, you come on, man. This is the dopest thing about hip hop, man. You're able to tell your story, and it's this. I'm just gonna keep rocking, man. And I am gonna get back into producing more, because I kind of left producing for a minute, so now I'm ready to start making beats again and get off the mic. Because I sometimes I listen, I'm like, man, I got a lot to say, but really don't have a lot to say. It's just like I thought I said it all, but I always find different ways of saying new things. Yes, sir.
Yep. Well, we're always looking forward to it, man. Always looking forward to it. So,
well, this platform is really dope. I appreciate you guys for having me on. And like I said, the ideal is just to kind of get the message out and to people that, I've been rocking. I've come up with out of Detroit, Michigan, with one of the dopest groups and some of the dopest artists, and I choose quality over quantity as it relates to my music. So, for the people who don't know me and who's never heard my music before, give me an opportunity. Give me a chance, give me a couple of my joints to spin, because like I said, it's authentic. And it's just like an acquired taste. It's like, you can get a cheaper wine for $20, or you can get you some real shit for $200. And that's what I think that my music, this project's Dual Cassette, the projects that I got coming, the projects that I've done, I think that's what I bring to the table. So it's a boom bap sound. I don't leave my sound because I'm good with that. You understand? It makes me feel good, and I know how to put it down, and I know how to transcend from decade to decade.
Yeah, man. Quick shout out to your other Spit Slam project with Genocide X God Hour.
Oh yeah,
That's a dope album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely one of my favorites.
Yeah.
I appreciate you guys. Yeah, that one was produced by Cream of Beats. And I got a new project that I'll be putting out. That I think we'll probably try to look to put it out in June or something. I want to stay active with Cream of Beats. I've got all the songs recorded. I've got songs with Ed O.G. I've got songs with Roz Kaz. Oh man, I've got songs with Bishop Lamont. I've got some great guys on this project, and I've filmed the videos all over the country during my tour. So I've filmed a video in Paris. I filmed a few of the videos in England. And then I've done a few in I did one in Germany. So it's just like, this I think this project will be the one that I think that goes down in platinum history for me. So it might be the first platinum Spit Slam project of the year. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to you guys hearing that one because it's produced by Cream of Beats. I work with the same producers if I'm not producing it. So Cream is a producer who he is just nasty and he's real choppy and raw. So I just call him. He's my own personal dealer. So the Boombap Kings has got a lot of stuff going, guys. So I want y'all to stick with me. And like I said, for all you people out there, I want to be direct, and I'm just saying this movement is something that, like I said, something that experienced hip hoppers you're gonna need. You're gonna need this. So, I only try to come one way. I try to do my best, but I just try to give it to you in different cadences and frequencies. So I just want everybody to just continue to rock with me and the things that I do with the label. And I'm always humble and appreciative for anybody who stick around and listen to my story and see how I'm rocking and doing what I'm doing.
Yeah, man. Well, we're always here for it. Can't wait to hear the next thing, ladies and gents. Make sure you check out Antlive, Bless One, dual cassette, out now, streaming. I like the CD because if you get the CD, this was fun. Because you sent me two different, like a variation on the album cover. So
Right,
it's the
right.
first time we ever did this where you get that, or you could flip it around and get the variation. Your choice. Choose your own adventure cover.
Right.
Oh, and
Come on,
the CD comes with the instrumentals too. So another bonus.
Very nice, very nice. No, man, you guys do it up good at the label, man. And then Chuck has it. Doc, you're quite the guy. The way you move and the way you work with the artists and the companies and different things. So I'm just thankful to be a part of it. Like I said, in this millennium where everybody can do everything themselves, I just think the Spit Slam home, the Spit Digital home is a home where we still getting the embrace and the support from the label. And that's why I always bring projects through here because I'm like, no matter what, we're going to get some sort of support that we need. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I want everybody to just go out and make sure you grab that wax, grab the CD. It's getting real, and I'm just turning up. You know what I'm saying? I'm just turning up, and I'm turning up in a positive way. I'm being led by God, of course, but he telling me to go ahead and boom bap y'all asses. So that's what I'm about to do. You know what I'm saying? He's like, yo, Ant, hurt him with the beats and the rhymes. Come on, man. I know you old like this, the new album with Cream. I think I'm gonna name it. I'm an old guy who raps from the 1980s. I want it to just be authentically real. And when you see when you hear the beats, and you hear me keeping up with Razkaz and all of these guys, and they were like, "Is that the same album?" I want this shit to sound like some Curtis Blow. You know what I'm saying? You know, just with that. You know, so 1981. Well, you remember Curtis or 82 where he had this a whole suit on and some shit.
Yep.
I might bring that shit back. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And just be like, yo, is Antlive serious? May not shave, you know, it just had a scruffy 52-year-old beard with the gray and all the shit, not cut my hair and shit, and get the shot from the up top like this on some 70s shit. Come on, man. They will look at that. They will look at that and buy that. Come on, man. Hey, this show is recorded, so we got to play this shit back. So when we tighten the album up, Doc, you know, we'll remember this. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna hold you to that, Ant. We're gonna hold you.
Yeah. But I appreciate you guys. The mix show was pretty dope the other night, man. It was pretty dope, man. You know, so
shout out to Soul Buck.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. He was doing his thing. You know what I'm saying? So appreciate you, Jenny. How you doing? You good over there, lady?
I'm doing fine. It's loud as all hell over here, but yeah, I'm doing good.
Okay.
And I'm happy to see that you are okay.
Oh man, I'm doing great. I'm thanking you for the spins and the love you shared, you gave yesterday. So nah, man, I'm in a good space. You know what I'm saying? I'm still here. You know, I'm saying God is good. So I'm gonna just keep on rocking and just giving out this good music and staying connected to you guys, because this show is just incredible. And like I said, you know, you guys are doing wonders here. So you're getting the biggest artists on this platform, and people show a lot of respect in the views and everything. So Doc, you Flatline, you know, Ultra, y'all go ahead. Y'all like smack rappers, man. Y'all smacking the shit out of people with this podcast. You know what I'm saying? You know my song. It's like, yo, you just walk up to them and smack the shit out of them or something. Like, I don't know. Yeah, it's getting real in this podcast game.
Yeah.
So Doc, you're real. You know you're real technical with shit, so you know how to put all of this stuff together and stuff.
Yeah,
so
man.
Yeah, man. But I thank y'all for having me on, and keep spinning my music and keep promoting my shit.
Of course.
You know,
I love
it. I lap it, man. I'm thankful, man, and whatever I can do to keep rocking with you guys, I will. But yeah, this world on the real, you got to hear this boom bap. I'm accredited and I'm known and I'm certified. You know what I'm saying? So rock with the Boombap Kings Antlive. Peace out to DJ Bless One, and MF911, my family, my wife. Appreciate you guys, and everybody else who's been supporting and rocking with me on this hip hop journey, and that's checking in on the show. I appreciate y'all.
Yeah. All right, Ant. Thank you, and we'll have you back for the next one.
Yes, sir. And hey, thank all you guys again. Appreciate y'all.
Yep. Take care, bro.
Peace.
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 Yes, sir. Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Yep. Crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy stuff. Yeah, seriously, guys, go check out Ant's stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know.
Seriously.
Yeah.
There you go. And he's got, I mean, this is just the stuff Spit Slam's put out. He's got so much other music.
Yeah, the new one I like. This Ain't That, and then He Didn't Listen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think we just dropped the little promo clip for He Didn't Listen too.
Yeah.
So you can watch that.
I actually played that on the latest edition of Hip Hop Gods Radio.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Can you tell us what else
I
you
don't
played?
know.
Oh man! Well,
Tonight's
I'm so glad that you asked.
tonight's
man.
edition.
I played the new Teflon single featuring MOP and produced by DJ Premier.
Wow.
I played the new Al Scratch and Team Demo. New Fat Lip and Blue featuring Slim Kid Trey. New Killer Mike. V Knuckles and Phonics featuring Ed OG and Rex. It's a good show.
Yeah, sounds like it. Damn.
Yep.
Okay. You're always keeping us up on it. So go check out on Rap Station, the Rap Station app.
Yep.
And Mixcloud.
Yep. Mixcloud.com/hiphopgodsradio.
There you go. New episode out tonight, hosted by Flatline. You can also catch Flatline and myself every Friday night, along with Mr. Chuck D for the And You Don't Stop radio show, where I spin the I was doing so well too. The Spit Slam Jam of the Week, which, as I mentioned before, was Antlive and Bless One Grand Rising. So that's this week's Spit Slam Jam of the Week. And as always, It's C-Doc Again is brought to you by the Spit Slam Record Label Group. The Spit Slam Record Label Group, a Chuck D situation. Catch us on your favorite streaming platform, on Bandcamp, or visit our official web store at spitslamrecords.com. All releases are available digitally or on CD, with select titles available on vinyl and cassette. The Spit Slam Record Label Group. Throwback to the future sound. This is my wife giving me thanks, baby. Thanks. Thought I had it. That's all right.
So close.
Jennifer, who do we got coming up next week?
If I'm not mistaken, next week would happen to be Doolio.
Connecticut's own. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be interesting. You get some
very interesting.
Gonna get the info on that on Steezo and I gotta ask about the Double O project, Doolio and Double K.
Double
K.
Ooh. Yeah.
Gotta talk about that. So yeah, join us next week for another episode with Doolio. And thanks to everyone watching live. Thanks to everybody watching on the replay. If you dig the show, please like and subscribe. We have all kinds of other great stuff going on here at Channel Zero. Thank you, Flatline Ultra Mag, Jennifer O. Jenny, for hanging out for another episode. And we will see everybody next week on It's C-Doc Again.
What?
This guy.